Hello. Are you watching?
No. Do you want me to?
It's up to you, man. You know, I don't particularly like hearing my voice play back. So,
Keep it on silent.
yeah. It's also going to be very delayed. Very delayed. Hello, Sherbos. How you doing? How's life? Hi, Laura. Turn it down, Chris. Actually, I was talking to Spiffy. We have a spectacular guest today. Yep. Oh, the Sherbos are watching me on the big screen. Let me out of your TV. I'm going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. I have to lean backwards. Let me out. Hi, Haley and Jody. Oh, we got the Dobbses. We got the Sherbos. I wonder if we'll get the goat chase. They have not been watching lately.
Hold your breath.
No.
I feel like they're confused because it's not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah. But I did that for the people who don't want to be on Facebook anymore. Uh-huh. No mind me. Okay, so today's drink is my mom's current go-to cocktail. Pretty much any time she asks me for a cocktail, this is what she asks for. And in fact, she doesn't really have to specifically ask for the cocktail because she'll just say, "What are we drinking?" Or, "Can I have a cocktail?" Or, "Lindsay, make me a cocktail." And if I say, "Okay, sure, what do you want?" she just smiles at me. And I know that that smile means I want a whiskey sour. And I don't blame her, because it's delicious and it's easy to make. Now, for members of the Facebook group, this is basically a cocktail that we've made before, except we added red wine on top. And that was our red wine sour, also known as a New York sour. We're just going to call it red wine sour. But the base of that is a whiskey sour. So for that, we need our simple syrup, some whiskey, we have some rye here. Again, bow is optional, but it's nice to dress up your whiskey. Give it a little bow tie, and some lemon juice. And then because, you know, we're doing a show here, we're gonna be a little bit fancy, add some lemon on our glass as a garnish. Not necessary, just nice, you know, just nice. So you could also add bitters to this, but I don't bother, honestly. When we were making red wine sours, I did add bitters, not to everyone's. My mom preferred it without, but when I made them for my dad and I would often put bitters in, but it's really not necessary, so we're not using bitters today. Yes, red wine sours are delicious. They're delicious. So, when we did the red wine sour episode, we didn't talk about the history of whiskey sours or red wine sours. We just made it. But I did some research. So, sours of any kind have been around for a very long time. Kind of the first common sour to exist would be the brandy sour. However, the whiskey sour is probably the most popular sour cocktail that exists now. and it really thrived during Prohibition era America. The whiskey sour also is so loved that it has its own day. So we have, Tequila Day and Prosecco Day and whatever, those fun days that you can celebrate on the calendar that are booze themed. And for whiskey sours, that day is the 25th of August. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So celebrate by having one of these once we get there. Once it's, disgustingly hot outside. The earliest mention of the whiskey sour was in 1870. The earliest mention of it in its more popularized form, I believe, which is the red wine sour, was in 1870. And again, it really took off as a cocktail once you added the red wine on top. That's really what got people obsessed with it. So much so that in the Washington Star's A Life in Chicago column on the 4th of December, 1883, a Chicago bartender claimed that the red wine sour was a signature cocktail at his bar. He did not claim that they created it, and a lot of people assume, based on what he said, that was the claim he was making. He was just saying that it was a signature cocktail at their bar. And this is heavily debated because he was in Chicago, and a red wine sour is often referred to as a New York sour nowadays, and that's because supposedly the version that has become the New York sour, which includes egg white, was created in Manhattan. And we don't have to say that either are wrong, because we still believe that that's the case. It's a New York sour based in Manhattan, but that the kind of red wine sour concept was a signature at his bar. It doesn't necessarily mean that he created it, and I don't believe that he definitely didn't outwardly say that he created it. He may have insinuated it, but that's about it. So it's had a lot of names. The red wine sour has had a lot of names over time. There's the Chicago sour. There's the claret snap. Claret basically meaning any kind of red wine. It doesn't matter where it was made. And so adding a claret on top of a whiskey sour would just be floating the red wine on the whiskey sour. It's also been called a continental sour or a southern whiskey sour. And a lot of these names came about because it really just depended on where you were. Different places, particularly in the States, would have different names for a red wine sour. Until sometime in the 1900s, when it kind of just became known as a New York sour, when it was more popularized out of Manhattan. Along with that, we are also going to briefly talk about egg whites, because egg whites are traditionally used in the New York sour, which is the very popular, well-known version of the kind of more generic red wine sour, which is just kind of what we call it. We call it red wine sour. But yeah, so egg whites were often used in whiskey sours for a time, but generally, if egg whites were being used as an add-on to a whiskey sour, red wine was not, and so it was kind of either or. And you could also make the cocktail without either of them. It was totally up to you. However, in the 90s to early 2000s, it became more typical for both to be used together in a New York sour. We don't use egg whites in any of our drinks around these parts because I live with a scientist and we find that kind of gross. So, we have the egg whiteless whiskey sour today, and it is delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. Yeah. Okay. So, without further ado, let's make one, shall we? Because I know I have a woman upstairs who's probably pretty darn mad that it's taken me this long to get to making her drink. Okay. Simple syrup, we're putting in 1 ounce. We're also putting in 1 ounce of lemon juice. And then we're gonna put in 2 ounces of our whiskey. Oftentimes with New York sours, they're made with bourbon, but we're Canadians, so we're using rye. But you can use either, whatever makes you happy. Before I do the shaker dance, I'm just gonna add some ice to my glass here. And remove the cat hair that's in it because we have cats and their hair gets everywhere. Lovely. Okay. Exactly, Andrew. Egg whites do have cooties. They do. Okay. We have our shaker. It's shaker dance time. You can join me, you cannot join me. It's totally up to you, man. Okay, a surprise. She'll surprise us. Either by not joining or by joining. We'll just have to figure it out. Okay, here we go. That was beautiful.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it now because there's a huge delay. Massive delay. Yep. It was a thing of beauty. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got the shaker emojis coming in. Love to see them, love to see them. Okay. Pour it into our glass with some ice. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon just to make it pretty. I highly suggest that whoever's going to drink it makes their way downstairs soon because it's ready. And I know last week my dad butted in line and it made my mom very angry. She's coming. I hear her. Oh, yeah, come on. Spiff, I don't know if you saw, but Andrew wrote quite the performance, quite the spiffy performance.
It was a great performance.
Yep.
It's good to be home.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Cheers.
Who makes them better, me or the airport?
Oh, you. The airport one was good.
Yeah.
I got one at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And egg whites. Egg whites.
They put egg whites in. How'd you feel about that?
I drank it.
Uh-huh. She drank it. There are cats. There are cats out and about. Okay. Now, yeah, no Nash Dash. There was no Nash Dash this week. Hey, Mom? You beat the Nash. There was no Nash Dash.
That's right.
Andrew said, no Nash Dash? Oh, Ella came down. Very nice. Okie dokie. Let's make our second one. So again, I'm going to put in 1 ounce simple syrup. Leanne wrote, quote, I drank it. Quote. She found that funny. 2 ounces of rye. And an ounce of lemon juice. It's an easy one. And sometimes when I'm not around for whatever reason, my parents, they get crafty. Because they love the whiskey sour. And I come down and I find that a whiskey sour has been made. And folks, they do it without the shaker. Now in a pinch, it works out. They enjoy their beverage. But they both say without fail that it is better when I make it. Why? Because I shake it. Shake it up. Put some ice in here. I don't want that water in there. Don't want to water down the drink. Thank you very much. Got our ice. We've got our shaker. I think we're ready for our shaker dance. Ready for the shaker dance. Here we go. Here we go. Let me in. Lovely. Pouring it in over the ice. There's the drink with the ice. Then I'm just going to add a lemon on top. And it is ready. It's ready. Huh?
I'll accept it on John's behalf.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll accept it.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. Yours.
Right here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, here he comes.
He's coming. He's coming. Is he coming? Sounds like he might. Well,
No.
I already had one, so I accepted it on your behalf. But I haven't drank from it.
No cooties.
no cooties. No cooties.
Merci.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I already finished mine.
Yes, you did. Get out of here. Hey, you're not visible.
That's okay. My drink is.
The important things. Nash or Hushy? I don't know what was meant by
They're
that.
both here.
They're both here. Oh, Nash. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's coming. We weren't. Andrew wasn't sure if we were talking about.
Oh yeah. Looking happy there.
Mm-hmm.
Is he not looking good?
No, he's not. He's like, someone help me. That's what his face looks like. Well, this is a fabulous way to come home.
Mhm.
Thank you very much for my favorite cocktail.
Anytime, man. Mm. Yum. It's gone. It's gone. Okay. We're gonna do another simple one with fairly easy to acquire, if not already acquired items. Next week. Uh-oh. There's the Bella. Hi, Miss Bella. Would you like to tell the people? No? She doesn't know what we gotta say. She doesn't know. So we're gonna need some tequila, some OJ,
Just another tequila sunrise.
And some grenadine. Was that intentional?
I just was thinking of an Eagle song.
Uh-huh. Okay. And we may add some orange slices for our garnish, completely optional. But it will be another delicious, fairly simple 3-ingredient beverage. So I hope to see you there next week. And I hope you all enjoy your whiskey sours if you're making them. Let us know if you're in the group. Share pictures. Let us see your beautiful whiskey sours. The fridge agrees with me. Indeed, he did. He ruined it. It's all good. It's all good. We'll still have a good time. And delicious beverages. And I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Spiff and I are going to go out to a cocktail bar this evening and have some fun with more cocktails. And we will see you all, except Spiff. Spiff won't see you all. But the rest of us will see you all next Saturday at 5 p.m. EST. So, yeah. Here we go. I'm ending it. It's going.